Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? Let's go ahead and get this started. So before we shuffle the cards, I thank you, Father, Mother, God, for all that you have done, all that you are doing, all that you will do, all that you continue to do. Please guide us and protect us, as well as send our spiritual teams of light and the light only of ancestors known and unknown, as we reveal, bind, rebuke, and destroy all demonic and negative energies and entities and auras in all dimensions and all realms and all realities and all aspects of life, of the past, present, of future, for the highest good of all, and life, light, love, divinity, purity, prosperity, and protection. Amen and Ashe. All right, y'all, how y'all doing? I know it's been a while since the monthly readings. The least I could do was keep up with the weeklies and do my best with the astrology. But we back on it. And we got started with Taurus. Taurus. Why? Because there's a lot of stuff going on in the astrology that had to do with the second house and the third house. So we're going to go ahead and hop right on into Taurus, because Taurus rules the second house. Check out what your houses need in your birth chart, because like with any reading, this is timeless. And as well, Taurus does not have to be your sun, moon, or rising. Those are just your some of your major threes. It could be any position, any place, any alignment, any aspect in your birth chart. Any house, all of that. Asteroid, all of that. Why? Because all of that matters, and it does affect you as a whole. I still gotta do that video on how y'all can see your full birth chart, because the ones that y'all have been getting, to be honest, is only a snapshot of a piece of it. Your birth chart is literally gonna look like a big complete circle, not just bits and pieces. They left out so many different things that they consider to be minor aspects and things that aren't important, that are very important, especially if you're on the spiritual journey fighting spiritual things like Vesta and Orcus and Aries and the four asteroids, the sisters. Like, no, we need to know all of that, like Varuna and they left all that out. All of that out. All right. Another guy. What do we have for the overall energy for Taurus? That was a whole bunch of cards. I'm gonna be here forever reading all them cards. I already kept y'all for 2 minutes. Woo! There it is. Remembrance. Okay, now. They landed back up. So we were going to take that one card. Remembrance. Okay. Well, definitely been calling on the Ascended Masters, been connecting with the Ascended Masters. You're going through a death and rebirth process. I just saw November with Scorpio with this 11. Death and rebirth process for you to be able to remember who it is that you are. Remember who you are. Yo, that's my song right there. Remember who you are. To be able to remember your path, remember your purpose, remember what it is, your divine mission, your calling. You know, who it is that you are on a core level, without the interferences, without the distractions, without, everybody's input into who it is that you are, but remembering who you are on a core level, who Father, Mother, God has called you to be. All right, what's going on with these situations over here? Yeah, remember who it is that you are going through a death and rebirth process, because what you thought that you were, the person that you were giving love to, it was not the truest version of you. It was not the highest form of you. There's a lot of things that was in your mind mentally that really allowed you to go with that. And, okay, well, this is me. This is who it is that I am. But then you had a moment of remembrance through this process, through love, through things not working out, through your cup being empty. And that's because you weren't living in your full authenticity. A lot of times we're going to keep going through these situations, not because we're being punished, not because we did something wrong or karma that. A lot of times we end up going through situations because we have to be able to grow through them. We have to be able to develop, to be able to gain strength, consciousness, awareness, personal integrity, doing what is right for us, even if it makes other people uncomfortable or mad, but doing what it is that is fully right for you, because we have the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. And those things, yeah, it comes hard at us, especially from an early age. We're taught how to be, we're taught who it is that we are. And we take in those different aspects and those different teachings and learnings of who it is to figure out who it is that we are. But if you have a calling on your life, if you have, not everybody does have a form of a calling and purpose and things like that. But if your calling requires you to be fully who it is that you are on a soul level, that's going to take breaking out of that exterior persona that other people have subjected upon you. Being able to know who it is that you are, for you, for what it is that you are here to do, not for other people's gains, not for other people's wants, and not even for your personal gains or wants or desires, but really to just truly love yourself and who it is that you are, so that you can authentically walk strong and purposeful in where it is that you are going. And that's what the insight that you was getting, that was coming in. It's like fireworks in the sky, freedom. Okay, and we got Juneteenth coming up. All right. And you're not going, you don't have any, with that insight that came through, it took away a lot of mental anguish, a lot of mental disturbances, feeling like you have to constantly be on guard to protect your mindset. Your masculine feels a sense of peace and relief and comfort, where your masculine energy within you is able to kind of take a step back to allow your feminine energy to be able to come forward, because our feminine energy is where we create from. So then your feminine energy is out to come forward because your masculine took over and protected your feminine energy, so that it can get to this point of having this strength, so that it can move forward passionately and quickly into manifesting, into giving birth what is really coming, what is truly yours, and recollecting on things that you left behind in the past that you need to gather and be able to bring back with you. And it wasn't the fact that they were allowed to be taken or stolen. People, you can't really take somebody's destiny or calling, but they could try. I mean, people have free will, they could try, but it's not. It's just that you were not ready right then and there. And a lot of times we do get information and we're ready for the information, but we're not ready to fully step into it. And then those situations we demonstrate where, you share something and someone, oh, well, they took that from me. No, because that was just a portion of it. That was just a taste of what is actually designed for you, what is actually destined for you. But now you also have the awareness and the discernment to know, like, okay, there's some things I need to say and some things I don't need to say. A lot of masks are coming off, and they're coming off in the form of celebration, in the form of happiness, in the form of prosperity and abundance and joy and peace and harmony. Because look, they're at a masquerade, and then they're at a masquerade, so they're having a good time. They're having a great time. The cups are filled. The mask ain't even on the people. They said, forget the mask. Like, no, we live in our full authentic life. Like, we don't need to have these masks on our faces. And that's exactly what's going on. That balance is coming out. Okay, all right. The Ace of Cups in reverse, the Tree of Life. Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. That remembering who it is that you are and going through of who it is that you are not is what aligns you with who it is that you truly are. Because even, they say, the is not comes before the is. That's just not in an external sense. That's also internally and personally when it comes to you and yourself. You have to go through the phases of you that are not true in order to be able to fully step into who it is that you truly are and follow your mission and your calling. And see, instead of moving passionately and with all emotions into something forward, where I'm just out of jovialness and going with the flow and okay, well, this is what I am, and this is who I've been told I am. You took your power back, and now you got the Ace of Wands, followed by the Tree of Life. Now that you truly know who it is that you are, because we had this came out, right? And then this. Knowing who it is that you truly are and being able to move passionately and standing 10 toes down, standing completely and fully and 100% in because you know who it is that you are. And once you know that you know that you know that you know, it hits you completely different. It's different when someone is telling you who it is that you are, what your gifts are, what you're meant to do, what your calling, your purpose is, versus you discovering it and you knowing on your own. Because it's going to be explained to you in a different way that's going to hit you on such a deep level. You know that was only Father, Mother, God. But that also brings you into a point of being able to have that discernment to know when Father, Mother, God and your spiritual team is talking versus when it's just noise or just, opinions. Because everybody's entitled to their own opinion, Not everything that, does come off to be like, oh, they try to deter me or this, or they try to do this. Or no, some people, they want to share their information just as much as you want to share your information, your knowledge and your wisdom and your growth and, the things that helped you. Why? Because it's exciting to be able to share a growing process with someone, especially with someone that is actually, invested in growth, in changing, in becoming more authentic of who it is that they are and everything. Yes, it's a very exciting time instead of you feeling like, sharing information with the wrong people, which we all on this journey have done. And it feels like you're kind of force feeding or shoving it down their throat. No, it's just a matter of being able to find your own soul tribe where you're able to be able to deliberate and discuss those things in a way where it's like, oh my God, really? Yeah, that's cool. So it's a complete difference. It's a complete difference there. But now you're able to walk with balance, walk with passion, being able to shape shift and transform into the situation because you have so many experiences within you, so many steps of growth and lessons and wisdom within you that you saw the whole evolution of yourself from start to beginning. Because like if you look at this like what it looks like, at the beginning of time when there was nothing but fire, water between the earth. Look at the volcano, or even going back to prehistoric time when the meteorite came and wiped up all the dinosaurs. Your old self was a dinosaur version of you, and now evolution is about to begin in a very balanced way. And then come out death and rebirth, Scorpio. Death and rebirth, Scorpio, with the Knight of Swords. That was under the Knight of Swords. So Temperance was under, what is that? Yeah, the Eight of Wands. Temperance was under the Eight of Wands. So with that message allows you to be able to gain balance, to move passionately forward. That realization, that revelation. And when the Knight of Swords in reverse with death, yeah, you're going through a death and rebirth transformation and process because now your masculine is there to not just also imply the action, but also protect your feminine energy. Your feminine energy also protects your masculine energy from just taking reckless actions and being able to sit back, consider how you're going to feel, the outcomes, the circumstances, the consequences, how it could affect others, things like that. So, you don't accidentally get some type of, karmic or injustices because your masculine energy just decide, okay, I'm just going to do it despite whatever consequences going to come out, So, but your masculine is able to, and now your masculine energy is able to, and that your feminine energy is coming forward so that you can manifest through your authentic self, your whole self as of right now, because we are in a constant state of changing. He's able to take a transformation, take a step back to be able to grow and change too. So the masculine could be right there with your inner divine feminine. All right. So we got Judgment in reverse with the Nine of Swords. Clarifying the Judgment in reverse. The Nine of Swords. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so with the Judgment in reverse with the Nine of Swords. There was someone that they felt like, you don't deserve what it is that you've gotten, where it is that you're going. And they felt like judgment needs to be called on you because, no, how did this person deserve this? They did this, they did that, they did that. But they don't know that they're in your season of being able to really fully step into your authenticity. A lot of people think that, we just, step into power. No, we have to call out our sins, our things that we did wrong. And we have to call that out, not waiting for someone else to call that out on us, but us call that out so that we can be able to move forward with a clean slate. They just didn't see that. Sometimes it's not publicly. Sometimes it's privately, and that's all that takes, because that's your personal relationship with Father, Mother, God. They need to learn to develop their own and mind their own business. But that judgment that they felt was coming, or feeling like that, okay, well, no, you were doing this out of spite or out of wrong. No, that was just karma hitting your butt. Because it's not the source that's facing this judgment, and it don't like this transformation that's going on. Then you have the King of Cups and the Eight of Coins. They wanted to come in this judgment is because they wanted to come in full of love, or they appeared to come in full of love and offering of being the King of Cups, but they didn't want to work for it. They didn't want to work to keep it. They didn't want to work to maintain it. They weren't paying attention to the details or anything. They didn't want to, they had pretty much had it all in their head and in the dream of, this is just going to be love and full of love and light, but also at the same time, you also have to work to keep it. You can't just get something and then it just sits there. What happens if you get a goldfish and you just let it sit there? That goldfish is going to die. And that's exactly what happened with that relationship. And now that your mask has came off as well, and this is also because you're moving forward into, where it is that you're going. So they wanted to call it judgment because they don't like it. Thinking like, oh, well, no, this don't need to happen. But you celebrating the mask that came off, moving forward with discernment, knowing how to make choices. But they really wanted you to be in a form of bondage. Because you have the the Six of Swords. They really tried to send someone to take you out, to put a 10 of Wands on you, a burden on you. Because they did not like injustice. And then justice was called at the bottom of the deck. Look, let me show y'all. Since I got my original setup, I got to get my ring light back. And then look at that. Justice. They didn't want to work for it. They wanted you to be burdened and do all the work and just let them just live and be the King of Cups without any type of effort. But you said, no, this is not real. And stepping into your authenticity, you were able to really get out of a situation that was no longer serving you. And being able to notice that and see that, and it was serving them. It wasn't serving you because they wasn't willing to put in the hard work. This King of Cups did not want to put in any type of hard work. Like this man is over here really, he's examining every pinnacle on there. Getting the artwork right and just perfect and make it all beautiful and pretty and gorgeous. But it was in reverse with this King of Cups. Because they felt... Why did they feel burdened, though? They wanted this burden on you, but why did they feel burdened? Because they didn't want to work. Justice was called. Why did they feel burdened? Because they weren't willing to fight for what it is they wanted, for what they wanted in the world. They wanted you to fight. They wanted you to keep going. With the Chariot, they wanted you to keep going, and the Magician in the reverse, and then the Devil card, and then with the Fool, the Hangman in reverse. Okay, they wanted you. The cards that came out to clarify, why did they feel burdened? They felt burdened because they were tired of fighting. They were done fighting. They felt like the world was upside down, and they weren't willing to keep on. They were in a bad situation, and they were not willing to keep on going through their fights, going through the hardships, going through the struggles, going through their moment in the desert, so they can come to the same realization, to be able to step fully into their calling and their purpose. They wanted you They were too busy looking at their wounds. Like, see, upright, he's a warrior. He's examining the situation. He put his helmet down. He's taking a break. He knows he still got to climb up all them stairs. This is in reverse. And then also what I'm getting is that because they didn't want to fight, they wanted you to continue fighting their battles for you so you could constantly look like this. But you constantly looking like this, you're not able to manifest anything. You're not able to move forward. So because this was in reverse and you said absolutely not, I'm not going to be the shield for your karma and your karmic retributions because you don't want to work. You going to keep on moving forward and do what it is that you got to do. And this magician in the reverse with the Six of Wands in reverse, they were really trying to come after you because of that, because they felt caged, because they felt caged. They felt caged. But you took a leap of faith after this situation and decided to get unstuck, and knew and learned that it was just a Page of Cups with the King of Coins in reverse, and really gonna lead them out in the cold. And they weren't gonna be able to offer nothing but a Page of Coins in the reverse. You're not taking no little offers. You know what it is. You already know what it is. All right, so let's see what demonic energies and entities around this situation. Ooh, everybody, we've already crossed off. Four of Swords, Simes, teaches grammar, logic, and rhetoric, can make one appear like a soldier. We had that in the collective reading. You're really trying to make one appear like, yeah, they seemed like they were they were a warrior, they were a fighter, they were able to, hold things down, they were able to manage, their chaos and all that. No. And come to find out, it really wasn't them. It was them using emotional manipulation to be able to get what they want, to be able to get their way, to be able to ease their troubles and their burdens, and that didn't work with you. That did not work with you. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. Oribas answers questions about the past, present, and future, gives dignities, grants the favor of friends and foes, faithful servant. Yeah, and that's exactly what was happening. They had these two demons around them that was allowing them to get friends through the manipulation of the emotions and having other people fight their battles, fight along their path. But the thing about it is, if somebody's going to fight alongside you, then you got to be putting in some work too. And then if you're not putting in any work, and then this other person gets blessed for helping, you, well, you can't be mad at that you're not getting that blessing because you didn't do the work. They did the work. That's their energy. That's their ancestors, their spiritual team, their connection through Father, Mother, God, that allowed that to pass. And you're just using them as a shield while they're being hit for stuff that's not even on them to get. No, absolutely not. So yeah, definitely check your second house, because the second house is going to hit you with the Pentacles are, and the Pentacles came out, and it was through some form of due to emotional manipulation. And even going back to the beginning with this emotional manipulation, a lot of times, growing up, you're told you could be anything in the world, but then that emotional manipulation starts kicking in, like, well, no, you fall in this category. No, you're this. No, your statistical analysis with, how it is that you were raised, your upbringing, your family, your economical status, your educational status, things like that. This is the group you fall in, so this is the only thing that you could do. Or in other words, as the orange guy says, black jobs. But look, you already know. But no, and you're worth way more than that. You're not going to take no pennies, not from nobody, not from someone that is in any position of so-called power. That power was given. That power can be snatched right on back. People better quit playing. But yeah, that's what that was. So then you got the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Ace of Cups come out in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles gives all worldly power and treasures. Make one wish quickly. That's exactly what they was looking for. Really trying to, they didn't want to work for their Pentacles. They wanted you to be able to carry the burdens. And they used emotional manipulation to really try to get you. And then when you said no, now they're feeling burdened because now they got to put in all the work. Yeah, that's how life goes. You have to put in the work. That's exactly how life goes. You're not just going. You can't. It ain't nothing for free. Ain't nothing for free, and that don't mean that it has to be through money. Sometimes it's just through sacrifices of your energy, your time, your effort, releasing of old things that no longer serves, old patterns that you know you need to let go from and heal from, but you want to keep on holding on to it. Why? For what? You hold on to it. You see, that's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, no, you're holding on to the pain." No, there's a difference between someone using a pain that allow them to gain wisdom and growth and understanding of themselves and others going through that situation on either or both sides, and being able to use that in a positive way in order to, even if it's calling someone out, because why? They've been there, they experienced it, they lived it, they survived it. It's complete. That's not reliving the pain. The pain ain't no longer there when you get to that level and you release and let go. The pain ain't no longer there. It's just pure wisdom and information and knowledge. So then you had the Archangel. Look, the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups came out in reverse. And then you have the Archangel, Nithael, the Ace of Cups upright. See, look, they be trying to pair people up and it don't be working. God, the King of Heaven, rejuvenation, obtains the mercy of God and gives long life. Yeah, you're blessed. You are blessed. I'm getting Deuteronomy. Blessed shall they be in the city. Blessed shall they be in the fields. Blessed shall be the fruit of their pasture and thy Lord. Blessed shall be when thou comest in, and blessed shall they be when they goest out. Yes, I summarized it. Why? Because that's a long passage. I love that passage though. And then you got the devil card came out. Yes, I know y'all like. There's a devil card in the Archangel. You have Samael. Remember, you used to be an angel of light. You used to be. Seduction and downfall. Communicates with the dead. Teaches the occult and magic. The severity of God. That's where that manipulation was coming in. That was that manipulation coming in. Really trying to pretend to be, an angel when, no, you're really trapped in the darkness. Because even the Archangel of light, which is, if you translate light as what we call light in this community, awareness, clarity, understanding. Even with that, all that understanding and clarity, still decided to do wrong, and now is pretty much facing God's wrath. Like, dude, like, for real, we wouldn't have Satan or demons if Satan just turned around and be like, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry. Why? Because God is an all-forgiving God. God didn't create Lucifer not knowing what was going to happen. He knew exactly what was going to happen. God, Father, Mother, God knows everything. You can't, it wasn't nothing first thing like, oh my God, they just did that, I have to cast them down. No, he just looking down waiting for him like, are you ready to come back? I mean, anytime now, all you really have to do is repent. All you got to do is repent. I mean, because you can't use that power and that wisdom and the insights that you have, knowing better, moving forward, and then use it and be a magician in the reverse and think good things are going to happen. No, God's going to throw them hands. You're going to catch the severity of God. Like, there's no way to know. It is what it is. So you got the Three of Pentacles, Eliel. God hearing limitations. Mental force protects against sorrows and illness. And that's exactly what was happening. You were protected. You were protected. And anybody that tried to come up against you, especially using some type of manipulation or dark tactics or trying to play on what it is that you already know and have the awareness of. Why? Because you lived through it and you experienced it. And that was your rebirth and your transformation. Yeah, they're going to catch some spiritual hands. And they might not want to play that way. So we have the Six of Grain. Widow's generosity. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. People are judging you by a book on its cover, thinking that, okay, well, you're alone, a widow back then, because why? The men took care of the women, because women weren't really allowed to work or do this or do that. You just, so when you don't have anybody there to take care of you. So it's like, how is this person that don't have no support, nobody there to take care of them, no friends, all of that going through, it looks like hell and high water. How are they able to give more and to sow more? Because the treasury is not just paying tithes, paying taxes, buying businesses. It's the work that you put in within yourself. All that wisdom from those experiences. That's gold. That's spiritual gold. And you reinvesting it into a way that is helping yourself and others. Yeah, that's depositing things into the spiritual treasury, which is why a lot of us are very rich in the spiritual realm and trust and believe the manifestation of that is going to start trickling down, especially now that your masculine energy, it feels that it did what it had to do. It protects you against these demonic energies and negative energies and bad people, so that your feminine energy can get discernment, so that when she steps forward, she's able to give birth peacefully without being disturbed by all this chaos and nonsense. So we have the moon, Jacob's dream at Bethel. Okay, Jacob's dream at Bethlehem. Well, we just talked about being able to birth something new into the, okay, so, all right, Freudian slip, the moon, Jacob's dream at Bethel. Climbing the stairway to heaven, we go it step by step. Do. Okay, look, if y'all know Stairway to Heaven, I'm going to need y'all to listen to that. 4 grains, parable of the rich fool. Ain't that what this whole side is about? Then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Luke 12:15. See, and that's exactly what's going on. The parables of the rich fool. Like, this person really did not want to work for everything, really wanted to take everything. You're being a fool. Life is going to turn you upside down and put you in a very humbling position, a very humbling spot. Because you don't treat people like that. Now they left out in the cold because that was at the bottom of the deck. And they don't know what to do, and they just looking on the outside in like, how are you warm sitting in the church and you see me out in the cold? Just like how you saw me out there fighting your battles in the cold. Now left out in the cold because I thought you needed some help and some assistance, but doing it all is not help. That's taking advantage. Help is someone that's right there next to you, elbow deep in the dirt, in the grind too. So the last overall message, we have portal. Infinite mind, awakening consciousness. Well, you are being illuminated. You are being guided in the right place. All the information that you need is going to come to you. All the protection, all of the resources, all of the skills, all of your gifts, skills, talents, and abilities, known and unknown. Let them be known and let them be unlocked so that you can learn and develop them even more, to grow them furthermore in strength, so you can keep on doing what it is that you've been called and chosen to do. All right, Taurus. Hope y'all like your reading. Until next time, peace. Hold on. Let's do this, though. Until next time, peace.